Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to an unboxing for Zombicide. This is for the expansion Angry Neighbors, which is part of the classic Zombicide, not to be confused with the new 2.0. They're 100% mix and matchable. It's just part of Season 3, which also contained Rue Morgue. It's not, even though it's part of that Kickstarter campaign, it is not directly linked to it, so you just need any of the base games. So you can play this with the classic Zombicide, Rue Morgue, or Prison Outbreak, or you can also play this with mix and match it into any of the 2.0 stuff. The tiles will obviously look a little bit different. The character cards will look a little bit different. We'll look at that, so if you're familiar with the 2.0 stuff. They look a little bit different, but the overall base rules are the same. They may have changed a little bit here and there, but it's easy enough to integrate them all in. So we'll go ahead and jump in. Well, I'm going to assume, this being expansion, you know all the core rules, so we're not going to go through all of that. But we do want to look at some of the new stuff. So before we actually hop into all of that, we do just want to look at some of the component stuff that we're going to get in here. So we're going to get some new Rotten tokens. We have 2 of those. Keep track of guys hiding and stuff. We do get 8 barricades, so we'll look at those rules. So these are kind of fun little addition to the game. We will have a bunch of these little counters to keep track of your points. So if you're familiar with the newer games, Black Plague and anything after that, started having little trays for all your cards to sit in. The older versions did not have that. All the characters came with big giant cards like this, and this is how you kept track. So you put little arrows on each one to keep track of what you've unlocked, and then you'd have like one up here. You have a clip up here for your health as well. That's how you kept track of everything, was with these little things. So they upgraded to a nicer system for that. Then we're going to get some decks of cards. We're going to have some new cards for some companion cards. So new type of character, extra helpful here. It's also been reintroduced in some. Has some tokens that go with them, and we'll explain those rules in a moment. We have some new Seeker zombies. So it's a new type of zombie. We have some more weapons. We'll go over all the different new weapons. And we have a stack of wound cards. This is how you actually kept track of damage in the original game. These are the same on all sides. Instead of like the newer ones where they have the little trays with the little pegs that keep tracking on the character cards, they say have health of like whatever they have, usually 3, but some characters have a little bit more. You actually just drew wound cards, and then you had them sitting out to keep track of how much damage you had. You just get a stack of those. So I probably won't go over those again. Then we have 3 tiles, which will be listed as 10, 11, and 12. Because they just continue the numbering theme. One side is V, one side is R. And we'll look at these in a little bit more in depth, because they do have some new rules associated with them. So what's really fun about this, like, before we even hop into everything else, is why would you pick this up if you own newer stuff, right? Why would you go back and hunt down classic Zombicide stuff? New characters, new zombies, companions. 3 new types of miniatures, very helpful. Maybe you don't need any more survivors. Like, I got enough survivors. You've bought in Kickstarter stuff. But you're going to get some companions, which are kind of fun. Extra addition to the game. The new zombies are fun, because the new zombies have not yet been repeated in 2.0. Not to say they won't in the future. But so far they haven't added this type of zombie in there. All of the weapons and stuff are here or there, because they're going to functionally work the same way as all the new stuff, but because they have different card backs. You do the same thing with the zombies, because they have different card backs. They're going to end up with that thing where it's harder to just immediately add them into the set. If you have the reboot pack, which they did make, I did a video on as well, they actually have stuff to like integrate all the old zombies into the game easily enough. But all the equipment's not going to, so that's up to you if you want to have a separate equipment pile. That's your choice. But then the tiles are always nice to have as well. So again, you can find these cheap. So one thing we're going to notice is we get 2 of each of the characters. We have a Zombicide. So that's one of the new rules in here. Here's I love this is a giant list. So this is our targeting priority list. So if you look at some of the new ones, it's a lot smaller. Because sometimes they just run everything together. But they also have so many different types by the end of classic Zombicide. Because you have all your survivors, you have all your walkers, your fatties or brutes as they're called now, and your abominations. But for all the different types, and then you got all your different runners, dogs, crawlers. So a bunch of stuff there. So what is a Zombivor? Let's start with that really quick. Your favorite survivor can die and return to the game as a zombie hero called Zombivor. When a survivor finally falls to the ravaging horde, you can turn him into a Zombivor to exact bloody revenge. So almost every single character in Classic has a Zombivor version you can play as if you want. Not going to say every single one. There might be some promo ones or Kickstarter ones or stuff like that that may not come with one or certain boxes, but just about all of them do. Again, this is a new feature they did not carry over to 2.0 for whatever reason. So they're indicated with the hazard symbol on their identity cards. All survivor rules apply to them. A killer feature about Zombivors is their incredible endurance. It's only eliminated by 5 wound cards, so you get more health. Zombivors are great tanks. There's a serious drawback, though, besides smell. At yellow level, Zombivors don't get the +1 action skill of a standard survivor. They're a bit tougher and somewhat slower, thus offer a whole new gaming experience. So what they do is they trade their extra activation skill, the extra action skill you get on yellow, which you earn pretty quickly, for a different ability. So they're going to take more damage, but you're not going to get to do as much stuff. So yeah, they have five wound cards instead of the standard 2 for survivors. Resurrection mode lets you begin the game with your favorite survivor in their standard version, and then switch to them when things go right. So that's a neat effect too. So you can have it set up so if your character dies, you can come back, basically have a second life, to come back as a Zombivor and keep trying to play. You also start the game with them if you would like. You just start with them as zombies, if you choose to do something like that. So yeah, resurrection mode. Any standard survivor gets a second wound. Laid on his miniature. Getting killed by a team member does not grant a resurrection. You have to be bitten by a zombie. Standard survivors can't receive more than 2 wounds. If you receive more wounds but need to kill them, distribute these wounds to other survivors. Basically, at the beginning of any follow player's turn, before the first player acts, resurrect him, discard all his wounds, replace all his down miniature with a Zombivor miniature. Trade survivor identity card for the Zombivor version. It immediately gains any equipment cards he did not lose upon his first death, and inventory is rearranged for free. As many experience points as the standard version had, choosing new skills is allowed. That's kind of fun. They get kind of interesting. They get to choose new abilities because some of them change. And then ongoing game effects that previously apply for them. Yes, that's kind of it. So I'm not going to go through all the extra text there, because that's just very simple what that is. I'm going to skip over the new tile thing for a moment, and we're going to look at the new idea of barricades. So barricades are going to have 2 sides, a regular built side and a hazard sign when it's incomplete. Survivors build barricades to keep zombies at bay. Unfortunately, hastily built barricades are temporary at best and can break down sooner or later. Barricades can only be built in specified locations indicated on the mission map, otherwise stated in the mission briefing. There's a barricade on the map that can be rebuilt the same spot after it's broke down. Barricade tokens have 2 facings to indicate their 2 states, complete or incomplete. On his turn, a survivor can spend 3 actions at once to start or finish building a barricade in a zone he stands. Zone must be free of zombies. Free actions can't be spent to build or finish a barricade. So, yeah, you have to spend 3 actions to do it. So it's quite spendy to do it, but it can be very helpful. To start building a barricade, a single survivor spends 3 actions at once. Puts a barricade token with incomplete side showing. To complete a barricade, one survivor may select an incomplete incomplete barricade on the border of a zone he stands in. Spend 3 actions at once and flip the token to completed size. All survivors took part in the construction, earning 5 experience. So there's a definite bonus there. A barricade can move, completing a single turn if there are 2 survivors, spend 3 actions each. Yeah, so that's kind of a neat little idea. So basically, it's your regular actions. So how do they work? This is what's actually really cool. Adjacent zones set apart from their common border is fully blocked by any combination of walls and barricades. Half-street zones and doors only need 1 completed barricade and token, but a double door, such as a mall door from Toxic City malls or standard streets, need 2. Barricades can't be crossed, but don't block line of sight, so you can shoot over them. Zombies can see over the barricades. Completed barricades aren't considered doors for spawning. They don't isolate rooms from the rest of the building. A survivor can entirely break a barricade in the same way he could open a door. He still needs an opening weapon. Whenever a zombie gets an extra activation because of a card, insufficient miniatures, or other game effects, remove all barricade tokens from the zone with at least 1 zombie of the indicated type. These zombies spend their entire activation destroying the barricade, even if they have several actions to spend. The runner gets an extra activation that moves him into the zone of the barricade on his first action. He uses a second to destroy the barricade. Zombies follow the shortest route to the noisiest zone. If there is no barricade, although a complete barricade will stop them, they'll pile there until a shorter path is defined. So it's kind of a neat little idea. So it's showing here next to the Seeker up here. This barricade works fine. The doors are effectively blocked by only 1 barrier. So this guy isn't going to go in here because it's blocked. That's a green door that's open. But someone put a barricade there, essentially re-shutting the door. This is a barricade is useless. The street needs 2 barricades. So although it's there, a zombie can still come down this way because they don't really care. So it says this Seeker won't take this way. It is the shortest, but it is blocked by a door. And that zombie can't open, so it'll go the other way. So if this door is open, he's not going to go this way because it's 1 tile, 2 right here to get to him. It's easier for him, but that'll be blocked. So you choose this way, but since in access there's no barricade. So he's going to go this way and see this guy, and he'll keep coming, but he'll stop when he gets to that barricade. Because he'll see you and still go after you. But that's what makes these very interesting, is because then guys will keep piling up. So you can sit back here and keep shooting at them until you eventually defeat all of them. Or if you just run away, if they can eventually see a different way around, because if you keep going like this direction, and that's all they can keep seeing you, they're just going to keep piling up there. But eventually it's going to happen. You're going to have so many zombies on the board that they'll just start breaking. So now you're going to have all these zombies flooding through. So it's a little iffy there. Alright, so let's go back to the tiles quick. I just wanted to go through the barricades, because that's a really cool idea. 2.0 did bring those in as well, so it is nice. We have some new tiles. We have hole zones and planks. So hole zones, damage builder feature some of the big holes in zones. Line of sight. Hole zones are considered to be street zones for line of sight, dug into buildings that allow line of sight to go beyond 1 zone. Movement, an actor being any miniature, has to spend 2 additional actions to move out of a hole zone. So it's usually 3 actions to get out. A hole zone still counts as a single zone for determining zombie routes to survivor. Hole zones make great zombie traps as they can't get on their own. Holes can't be searched. Zombies don't spawn in a hole zone when a survivor opens the door of its building. And then planks. Planks are put through some hole zones. They allow actors to cross these danger zones more quickly. Zones linked by both ends of a plank share line of sight. Yes, you can shoot diagonally. Are considered adjacent for movement purposes. You also move diagonally. Zones connected are a range of 1 from each other. So if we look at let's just look at our tiles quick. So we have this big one here, 12R. So in this house, we have some outside area. We have a little corner there, but we have a side house here, so we have a big giant hole. So everyone's going to try and cross over this plank there. But if someone fell into this hole, instead of crossing the plank, they're going to have to spend 3 planks to get out of there. And then if we flip to this side, we have this shady restaurant tavern, and then a There's like a little kitchen back here. There's some bathrooms, a little bar. But yeah, they come into here, and then if anyone would enter, because this hole's up here, if they fall into this hole, they have to spend 3 actions to get back out. And what they're saying is why most zombies can't get out is because most zombies only have 1, walkers, abominations, brutes, or 2 actions, runners. So they don't have enough points to crawl out of holes. Here we have another one with tile number 10. So this one's right in the middle of this building. Doors on either, or holes on either side. As you know, there's not outside doors on these, like out to the streets. You have to add them in there. So here's another side. We have a bunch of little tiny rooms, big hole in the middle. But yeah, there's planks here. So if you come across this way, you can get over to this one. You can shoot from here to here, across there. But we're gonna have this hole in the middle. So if you're up here, you're here, or zombies here, it's gonna see you and try and walk after you and fall right in that hole. Then the third one we have, which is tile number 11, doesn't actually have any holes. Interesting because they made this new mechanic, then they didn't utilize it completely. Just has another U shape. And if we flip the other one, we have another corner shape with a pet shop. A previously owned pet shop. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't make a new mechanic of holes and have it on all 3 tiles. That would have definitely been a lot more cool. Have 6 different holes to play as. Or have like tokens to drop the holes in there. Would have been kind of cool. Alright, so if we look at the little instructions here for this, it says, this hole zone counts as a street zone for line of sight. Tiff could shoot above it, into the street, and even she's 2 zones away. She has line of sight to the hole zone. Thanks to the plank, she has a line of sight to the upper zone, and she could move there too. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to see there because it's around a corner. And here we have Adam down here. He can see through this door. He can see that way. He can see down. He can see out. Through the streets, he can see 1 into a building. Has line of sight there. Line of sight goes through any number of street zones, but only 1 zone into a building. Adam could shoot this seeker. And does not have line of sight into the zones because he's too far into the building. So even though he's in a hole, he can still see all the way out. So here we have Jeff is in the hole here. He needs to spend 3 actions to move. 1 for the move and 2 for the hole. If there had been a single zombie, then Jeff would have needed 4 actions. So there's the downside of having zombies pile in there. Because all of a sudden 2 or 3 get in there, you're probably not ever escaping either. Julian's possible moves, he can go up, he can go down each plank, or he can drop into the hole. Here are Julian's possible essays. Now, why would you ever drop into one of these holes? Well, for like this, for example, if he wanted to get back to this space, it would be 1, 2, 3 movement spots. 1, 2, 3. Or he could always drop down in here for 1, and then yes, he'd have to spend 4 points to get back out, so it costs him a total of 5. But it might be the difference between, might be the difference for him of spending 2 turns to jump down here versus zombies coming around. They might be in this door or this way. It might be might be useful for him. Who knows why? I'm not really sure why he necessarily would either. This secret has 2 routes for down. No matter the movement penalty, the whole zone is still a single zone. The seeker thus takes the shortest route. So this is a zombie. He can go 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3. So he's going to drop in this hole, but then he won't be able to get out. So it's definitely a cool trap mechanic. Yeah, the only thing with planks is that, surprised there's not like a roll to try and go over them or something. Like you have to roll for like, that's maybe a house rule I would have done, or at least a rule I would have had, like roll on a roll of like even 4, 5, and 6, you get over the hole, otherwise you fall in. Just because otherwise it kind of like, here's Jeff in here, like why did Jeff walk in this hole at all when there's a plank there? There would have been no reason for him to enter either of these without it, But that is here nor there. Alright, so before we get into too much other stuff, I do want to jump in. I don't usually, I'm not going to go through all the missions, but what's cool with this is there's 2 things. One, the missions are, so it says missions 0 to 5 use Zombicide Season 1. 6 to 10, use Season 2, and 11 to 15, use Season 3, Rue More. So what's neat about this is it's kind of an expansion, but it really benefits from all the other games. Using map tiles in them, and then each one's played with each other one. So if you pick this up, you want to play the missions, you're going to need the other tiles. Just buy the tile packs and be just fine as well. But we didn't want to show it. So it has completed barricade listed on there. So this one does show a barricade on there already. So there's a couple of them. And it's showing where some of the companions are on the board. The little ones. We haven't went over companions yet. But we did want to show like a map here. It's showing all your door placements are. It is showing where we have incomplete barricades are built. So they're showing on the maps where the barricades and stuff are built or at. So here we have them surrounding the police car, and we have our starting zone there. And then we have some maps like this that have these green areas. So it says areas where barricades must be built. So this is the only spot you can build barricades. So it's actually showing you on the map where you can build barricades on some of these maps. I was trying to see if they had another one that showed like that. Yeah, so that's definitely a neat extra thing. But now again, you can always change your rules, customize your rules to do any of that as you like. Alright, then the last thing we have for new rules are our companions. So companions are the mission. So set aside companion equipment cards at the beginning of the game. Shuffle them into a companion deck. Put them face down close to the board. Some missions feature companion tokens. These companion tokens are put into the streets or any non-building zone. They're revealed after setup. Draw a card from the companion deck for each of them, placing a corresponding miniature on it. Other companions are put into the building zones. Opening such building for the first time reveals all companion tokens inside. Draw a card from the companion deck for each activated companion and place it in the corresponding thing. So if they're in the streets, you'll automatically flip them over. You'll draw a card. You'll automatically know which guy you're going after. But if they're in a building, you'll know there's someone in there. You won't know which specifically one you're looking for. It's supposed to be the idea there. But there might be zombies in there too, so you have to hurry up. Companion tokens are taken in the same way as objective tokens. Companions can't do anything until his token has been taken. Gives 5 experience to the survivor who takes it. The survivor then rallies companions to become his leader. The companion card is in his inventory. Companion cards are equipment cards. A companion recognizes a survivor who has his inventory as their leader. Survivors can have the 2 companion cards in his inventory. They thus must lead up to 2 companions. Companions can be traded, discarded, or lost in the same way as regular equipment. If they ever remove the miniatures while your companions fled the scene. So if they're ever lost, they don't just stop. You can't drop a companion, but hey, you stay here. I need the inventory space for this gun. They're just done. A companion doesn't have to be equipped in hand to be effective. Companions can be played in any Zombicide mission. Just place a companion token next to every objective token on the map. In that case, add new mission objectives. So that's really fun, is because you can add these guys on the board wherever, and they go the check marks if you want to show like they've been picked up, in case you ever forget. But they can just be added in there. So it's like here showing Julian open the door. Zombie spawn. Companion token is activated. Draws a gunman. Spawn zombies. None spawn because it's a hole. Yeah, so definitely, so now you have to try and get in there and save them. Which definitely makes them a little bit more interesting. General traits. Companion is a survivor. It belongs to his leader's team. Is defeated and removed by the first wound it receives. It stays in the leader's zone. All special rules and related skills apply. Does not have an inventory. Can have 1 or more passive effects. Can have 1 or more active effects. Companions do not have actions. A leader must spend his own actions to give instructions to his companion. The cost of 1 action from his leader. A companion can do 1 of the following feats. Using active effect, get in or out of a car, helicopter, and takes up a seat but can't fly or drive. So we have the 4 different ones, and we'll look at them in just a second here. But what we're going to do is hop in and look at our survivors first. set my boards off to the side. Alright, we're going to look at all the survivors first, and then we'll come back and look at the companions and the cards and stuff afterwards. Alright, so here is our card for our first one. My card's got a little bit bent, but that's easy enough to fold back out. So here we have Adam. What's really interesting and fun about these 4 survivors from this game is during campaign season 2 of the Kickstarter, there was a special tier for called I am a legend or I am a zombie. And if people bought those, they got put into the game. And these are the 4 people that did it, and then 3 of them are our zombies. So yeah, these are actually based on actual backers of the game. So this Adam is actually Adam von Bulkerstern, who also went by Captain Maff. So that's kind of cool. So here is let's look at his miniature quick. I'm gonna drop my card down here for a sec. So the original ones all came in different colors versus all the new ones in 2.0 are all the same colors. So here he's got his big old axe. He's got a skull shirt. Now, I don't know how much input they had on the design of their card or poses, looks, if they were just like, hey, they sent in a picture of like them wearing something and that was it, or if they could say, hey, I want this item or I want to be doing this thing. Not really for sure. But alright, so there's it showing us cards in reserve, cards in hand. Adam starts in blue with +1 die for melee, so he's going to be a melee fighter. Yellow is, of course, 1 action. In orange, he has +1 die for combat, and he gains webbing. Which webbing is all equipment survivors in inventory is considered to be in hand, so he can use all his items. In red, 1 free combat action, +1 die roll for combat, or horde. And horde is survivor can carry 1 extra equipment card in reserve. So he's basically a melee character, generally. He has, after his first one, it's all just combat, so you can use him however you want. But you can basically use any type of stuff and carry any weapons and use stuff. So he's going to be like your item support character, too. Then if we actually flip him over to the other side, we have his Zombicide version, which will have kind of like big toxic hazard symbol in the back. And so there is his miniature for that. So this is kind of neat. They made, I guess kind of neat they made the zombie versions of each one. I like the fact is because either A, you can use them as the zombie thing there, or if nothing else, they add a variety of walkers into the game. Like especially if you go around, you paint them all eventually. Now you can take all these guys and you have all these different walkers that have weapons and stuff like that, which look kind of cool. So, alright, so he keeps his +1. Their Zombicide versions are very much the same. He has +1 die for melee, same as before. But in yellow now he has 1 free melee action. Then in orange he keeps his +1 die for combat, but he switches out his webbing for items for regeneration. So he's not worried about carrying items anymore, or using extra items. And regeneration says, end of each round, discard all wounds the survivor received. Regeneration doesn't work if the survivor has been eliminated. Yeah, so just to heal back up every turn. Then he has, in red, +1 die roll for combat, horde again, and now he also gets Zombie Link. So he trades one of his extra combats for Zombie Link. It says, plays an extra turn. Each extra activation card is drawn from the zombie pile. He plays before the extra activated zombies, which is pretty fun. It's also the fact it's a full turn. It's not just he gets 1 extra action, he gets a full entire turn. The only downside is it comes so late in the game, you may not even get a chance to use it depending on how many extra things are coming up. Although, if all the zombies are piling up, it might just give him them extra turns he needs. Alright, for our next survivor, we have Jeff. And Jeff is Jeff Blakemore, or Neerath. Neerath? I'm hoping Neeranth, I think it is. Which is his backer, his username. So let's take a look at his miniature really quick. Okay, it's kind of like a purple. Now, I do like the color code because I didn't have to use the base thing. It is kind of neat. Cut your character out really quickly, but the thing is, there was only so many different shades they could do after especially after 3 years. Having them all the same color just makes it probably cheaper for them. You know, have to keep trying to switch, you know, print off a box, and now you have 6, 7, 8 different colored characters. Alright, so Jeff is, oh, he has a big giant axe there, like an AK. So he is going to start with Sniper. And Sniper says Survivor may freely choose targets amongst all of ranged combat. This lets him choose exactly who he wants to shoot, so he can take out runners beforehand if he needs to. 1 action in orange, +1 die for range, or +1 max range in red. +1 free range action, Reaper Combat, and Tactician. For Tactician, he has Survivor's turn can be resolved anytime during a player's phase, before or after any other survivor. If several teammates benefit from his skill, players choose who can do it. So this is kind of a neat thing because as you're going through, if he's normally going to be the 3rd player in line, he can opt to jump up first. So maybe you might need him to jump up in front of everybody so he can range shot and take out stuff ahead of time for everybody else. But it's also neat because he said he can take any time, so he could also have been the 1st player, and you could opt to have him go last, because then he could be cleanup crew. Oh, you guys all run up melee, take out this guy, take out this guy, take out these guys. Oh, let him go last, and then he can play cleanup that way. So it's a really neat way you can do both of those. And then he has Reaper. Reaper Combat. So combat means it works for range or melee. Use the skill when assigning hits while resolving combat action. One of these hits can freely kill an additional identical zombie in the same zone. Only a single additional zombie can be killed per action. So if he takes out a walker, gets an additional walker. He takes out a runner. And this works really great with that sniper ability. Because there he can take out... Oh, the runners are going to be a problem. Take out a runner, takes out an additional one. Gets maybe lucky enough to take out a brute or a brute character. Now he can take out a second one. And then if you have, obviously you can get all the way back around and get that with Tactician, and you can plan stuff a little bit more. Let's look at his Zombicide version. He drops his gun, he's just going his full axe. Just like a little miniature there. Rah. Yeah, I do like the idea of using all these guys as zombies, because then like instead of just getting guys running around like regular, oh, these guys kept some zombies had a weapon at the time. Makes sense. Alright, he keeps Sniper, even though he doesn't have a gun in this. He has +1 free ranged action, so his one normal plus action becomes only a ranged action. So he does still get an action, he's just limited onto what he can do. In orange, he keeps his max range, but he also gets Frenzy ranged. So Frenzy will... ranged weapons with the survivor carries gain +1 die per wound on the survivor suffers. Dual ranged weapons gain a die for each. So that's pretty great, because now they actually have 5 health as a Zombivor, so he's actually going to benefit from that a lot more. In red, he has +1 free range action, Reaper Combat, and Tactician. Which I think those are all the same as the other one. Tactician, range, and combat. Yeah, so he kept all those the same. So yeah, they don't change like 100%, but they change enough that they do make it at least a slightly different character. Alright, our 3rd survivor is Julian, who is Julian Lejeune, Jeune, who goes by Shugu. So these are green guys. Let's look at him. Looks like he has another gun, so he might be another ranged type character. If the camera wants to focus on him, yeah. So he's got like a hockey mask down there. The like little backpack on there. Knee pads, elbow pads. Like one elbow pad, he only has it on the one arm. But he's got a gun with a drum on it, which is really cool. Refocus back up there. So he starts with Steady Hand. Which survivor can ignore other survivors or choosing even rival ones when he's using a ranged attack or drives a car through a zone. The skill does not apply to ranged weapons, killing everything in a car zone, such as a Molotov. So we're like, Sniper lets you choose your targets. Steady Hand lets you make sure you can opt to make sure you're not shooting your teammates. It doesn't let you choose the other targets, but at least you can opt to be like, hey, I'm smart enough not to shoot. Like, I might not be able to hit the exact zombie I want, but I'm smart enough not to at least shoot my friends. Yellow, 1 action. In orange, +1 die roll for ranged and hit and run. Hit and run's always a nice one. Survivor can use this skill for free just after resolving a melee or ranged combat action, resulting in at least 1 zombie kill. He can then resolve for a free move action. A survivor does not spend extra actions to perform this move action if zombies are standing in his zone. Yeah, so that's really cool, because it lets you, if you take out a zombie, you get a free move action. So either A, you can move out of the zone, or if it's the last zombie, you can now move maybe to the next zone and start taking out the next group of guys. Lets you kind of reposition yourself very quickly. In red, +1 die for combat, +1 free combat action, and point blank. Point blank will be very good with both Steady Hand and hit and run. So when firing at 0 range, survivor can freely choose targets of his ranged combat actions, can kill any type of zombie, including berserkers, for prison outbreak. His ranged weapons still need to inflict enough damage to kill him. Remember, some guys can't be done that way. I'm not going to go with that. That's another character. It's not in this mode. But yeah, so it basically lets him treat his gun as a melee weapon. Like melee, you can pick and choose however you do. Or more or less, you could say it gives him like sniper at close range. He can now choose who he gets to target, which is very cool. Let's flip to his zombie version. I like when he becomes a zombie, he puts his mask back on. He's like, I'm about to die, so he's going to put his mask on. Yeah, kind of neat. So he still has his gun. His clothes are all tattered up now. He's also doing a little bit of a forward lean. Alright, so zombie version. We have Steady Hand, he keeps that. In yellow, he changes it out for 1 free ranged action. So again, he still gets his actions, just specify on what he can only do. In orange has +1 die roll for range and bloodlust range. He gains bloodlust. Says spend 1 action with the survivor. He moves up to 2 zones to a zone containing at least 1 zombie and then gains 1 free ranged action. So it spends an action point to combine your move and attack at the same time, but you have to move in a zone with another zombie. So if there's no zombies within range, you can't use the ability. So it's a catch-22 type thing. In red, +1 damage for ranged attacks, which is very good, extra damage. +1 die for combat and point blank range. So very cool. You have +1 damage on there? No, so that's kind of neat. So you have +1 die for combat. Instead, he still keeps that. Went to the second one, he had 1 free combat action. He loses his extra action, but he does more damage. So it's kind of a neat little change out on him. Alright, then our last survivor is our lady of the group. We have Tiff, or Tiffany Reynolds, or also known as Wave Sight. So she is, I like that she has the axe. A literal axe, if we actually check onto it. So here it's kind of cool. Get her miniature. Get a little bit better zoomed up on that. Yeah, she definitely gives you kind of the, I just got like a Buffy-ish vibe. Because she's just like, just regular gear. She didn't make her all like a job, like, female job, like, I know, not to be sexist, but like Wendy right off the bat, who's a waitress, or we had some of the other characters that were, like, ninjas, or they were, models and stuff like that, but she just looks like, yeah, she's a regular, going out everyday woman. Plus, I think the axe kind of reminds me of Buffy's one axe. But yeah, really cool looking. So she does have a regular axe on her hip there, but her guitar axe is really neat. That's a fun little item. That's why I think they did have at least some say in that. What they did. So she starts with a submachine gun, which is really neat. Not a lot of guys get to do that. So is the submachine gun in this deck? I just want to check to see if it comes in this set. I would imagine it does. Yeah. So here's our submachine gun. We'll look at that a little bit more, but yeah, it's, you know, pretty nice to have. That we do. It was definitely good that it comes in this set, so it's not like from one of the base games you have to hope for. In orange has one free ranged action and sniper. So we had lots of ranged characters in this set. One free guy for range, one free ranged action, and gunslinger. I think gunslinger lets her dual wield, if I'm correct. Treats all ranged weapons as if they had the dual symbol. Yeah. Which is very funny, though. So she starts with a submachine gun. She has sniper, range stuff, all this range stuff, yet she's literally carrying 2 axes on her. So I'm surprised they didn't have a thing. It would have been also neat, though, like, she has her special axe weapon. That would have been cool just if she started with that, and each survivor started with their own unique item. That would have been kind of neat as well. So here, yeah, she has the bloody axe, musical axe. So there's her zombie version. Rawr. Still holding on to that submachine. If you saw a zombie with a submachine gun, that'd be nuts. So there's kind of some lines on the back side of this to look like the lines of the guitar. But that's pretty cool. Alright, so she starts with a submachine gun. Still, she has one free ranged action. Hit and run and sniper, which you saw already. In red, +1 ranged die, charge, and gunslinger. So we haven't seen charge yet. Charge is, by my alphabet here. Survivor can use the skill for free as often as he pleases, or she in this case. During each of her actions, she moves up to 2 zones to a zone containing at least 1 zombie. No movement rules still apply. So it gives them an extra additional move skill up to 2 zones. So instead of 1, they can move extra zones. But they have to move into a zone with a zombie. So they basically get a free move action. They have to move into a zone with a zombie. Versus we did have the other ability where they had to... they got a free attack, but they had to spend an action. I do want to see what did Adam have. Okay, yeah, he had +1 free melee action. Yes, you got 3 ranged characters, 1 melee character. Although the one guy was kind of sort of in the... Adam was still kind of either way. Which is really neat. Alright, so before we hop into our companions and our item cards, I do want to look at the zombies. So we have 3 brand new zombies. I'm going to hope these guys will show up because they are black. These are the Seekers. So each one of these were also part of the promotion where people could buy them. So this one is modeled after... Grab my picture here. I believe if they're in the order of the picture, so I can't 100% be sure. I'm just going by what the information I have. It says Sean Betty. So there's one version. And we have 5 of each of these models. So then we have this guy here with a t-shirt on. And this one should be Rory Wickham. And then the last one, who has a cool trench coat and like some flowing hair. Maybe a little ponytail in there. This is Andrew Welsh. Yeah, so you get 15 total zombies. five of each different model. We do have their cards here. So they'll get their cards. They'll have the Zombicide back on there, and then it's going to be... I'll just kind of flip through each one of them. You can kind of see what they are. So this is the old style where it's going to show the picture on there of how many you get in there versus the new ones. Or point to look a little bit different. So in red, it's oh no, worse or bad. So it's either 1, 2, 3, or 4. And with these ones, because they're all the same exact zombies, they're all going to be the same. We just got cards 95, 96, 197, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 200, 201, 202, 203, and 204. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 total spawn cards to potentially spawn them. So what makes Seekers so dangerous? Alright, let's look at a Seeker rules. Alright, so Seekers, of course, they have their silhouette and they have their symbols, so we know where they are. Seekers have the same target and priority level as standard walkers. Choose cards among them. Kill a Seeker, gains 1 experience point. A Seeker spends a single action each time it's activated. Gets an extra activation each time a Seeker zombie card is drawn. Seekers do not benefit from extra activations of other cards. For example, at blue level, a player draws their first zombie card during a spawn step. It's a Seeker. A single Seeker miniature is put on the board. The next zombie card drawn is another Seeker zombie. The previous Seeker gets an extra activation before the second Seeker is put on the board. And then just a little rule, toxic abominations can't be turned into Seekers. Can't turn Seekers into toxic abominations. Yeah, so not like no super like crazy rules, but yeah, they're more on the prowl than everybody else. So every time you draw a new one, every other one on the board gets an extra activation. So you definitely want to try and take them out as quickly as possible. Otherwise, you're going to have a bunch of issues. Alright, so let's look at our companions quick. So here's our first one. We have the Searcher. So we have 4 different companions. I'm just going to grab the rules here in case I have a little bit more. So each one is going to have their different miniature as well. We get 2 copies of each of the miniatures. So here's our Seeker, and they're in the different colors. It's just funny because they're more of the almost in the same color as 2.0 guys. Let's see if I'll focus up a little bit better. Yeah, so we have the Seeker here, who's a bunch of backpacks. He's got a flashlight. And we get 2 copies of each of their cards, 1 for each miniature. So there's exactly number of cards for each miniature. His says passive 1. You get +1 search. Get search +1 card. So when you search, as long as you have him on your team, you get an extra search action. And then 2, the Searcher does not occupy an inventory slot. So it's kind of neat too. So yeah, you only have X number of spaces in your inventory. So these guys, so he actually doesn't take up extra spaces. So it actually makes him kind of nice. Otherwise it says normally they would take up one of your inventory slots. Our next guy up is we have the Gunner. Big old biker type guy. Let me see if I zoom in on that a little bit more. Alright, and then this is what our Gunner looks like. There he is loading up his gun there. Little knife. Yeah, just like badass biker dude. Guys that all could have been survivors at some point. But instead they're just going to be helping us out. So it says, zoom down a little bit more, see if I can not have these zoomed out as much. There we go. Active. Spend 1 action for a pistol range action with all teammate gunmen in the zone, and passive get +1 die for ranged. Yeah, so it's kind of neat. So it says, your gunman, all teammate gunmen standing in his zone execute pistol range. They all shoot the same zone simultaneously. Place one noise for each shooter. So very, very effective. Yeah, so if you get 2 of them in there, you can basically, all 3 of you guys can just start unloading onto a zone. It's kind of neat. Collect multiple of these guys. This might be a neat thing if they had like an extra expansion box that added these companions in, where you could pick up more of them. Because then you could have like a team of bikers, and you go like, oh, like let's have everyone get together. That'd be kind of a fun little thing there. Our third guy is the handyman. Kind of like a survivalist dude. So there's him. He's wielding a crowbar. He's got bandana with some goggles on. Bunch of cargo pockets. Big old bomber jacket. Looks like a canteen or something in his pocket. So what's our handyman do for us? It says active. Spend 1 action to silently open a door or break a barricade. Passive barricades can be built anywhere and cost 1 less action to a minimum of 1. So if you have 2 of them out, you have both of them, they can cost down to only 1 action to build. So that's actually pretty cool. So it does, just as one thing it does mention though, is it says for the opening the doors, it mentions if there's a special objective, like you need to find the green objective to open the green door, he can't break it down for you ahead of time. So that's pretty cool. Also, the fact you can build barricades anywhere. So this does actually prove that already that exception to the rule about building barricades. They just need someone that knows how to build it versus, oh, there was already a barricade here and we're just kind of adding to it. Alright, then our last companion is the sniper. You have a bunch of range guys in here already, so why not have another one? There's a sniper rifle and some binoculars. Now, that's one thing I'll say with this is we've had our survivors, we had a bunch of range guys. So here we have the gunmen, which do range attacks. We have a sniper, which is going to do range stuff. We have a searcher, and we have a builder. So it'd be kind of neat to have, like, even 4 more extra companions. And they might be in another box I'm just not familiar with. But it'd be neat to have more, have, like, another melee guy. Have a guy for doing something else, for maybe taunting or, something else. So, like, meet some of the other abilities or range stuff that'd be kind of neat. Maybe, like, something that helps save items. Like, oh, this guy knows how to ration items, so every time you use an item, roll a die on a 5 or 6 and keep the item, Alright, the sniper has an active. Spend 1 action for a sniper rifle range attack. 4 actors with all teammates with sniper in the zone, so all your snipers can fire. And passive, gain +1 max range. So that's really neat. So these guys work really well with these guys, but again, even if they had some melee ones, have a couple of extra guys. Just, hey, we're the baseball bat team, like baseball player runs in, beats a guy with a baseball bat. So yeah, they do also show, I'm going to just grab the book here quick, their attacks here. So they're the pistol and sniper. The pistol one for your gunman is noisy, range 0 to 1, die 1, accuracy 4, 1 damage. And your sniper rifle is noisy 1 to 3, accuracy 4, damage 1. So it's just either shooting a 0 to 1 or a 1 to 3 range. Note the sniper's companion rifle is less accurate than a regular sniper rifle. So that's pretty cool there. Then, the next thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at our item cards that came in the set. So we have some new items. We have 2 copies of our crossbow. So most of the stuff is the same. We have range 0 to 1. Dice is 1. Accuracy is 3. Damage is 2. Then it's showing that you can shoot somebody with it. Does damage, but it does not make any noise. So showing it's an attack. This crossbow combined with a scope to get the sniper skill with this weapon. Is the scope in this set? No, it is not. So that's neat. So if you combine with a scope from a different one, you can get this sniper skill. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 copies of the energy drink. So we're chugging down some good old energy. The Guillotine energy drink. 50% carotene, 50% caffeine. 15% taurine, 100% guillotine. That's funny. Discard card during activation, plus 1 action until the end of the activation. Cumulative. You can chug a couple of these. So you can actually chug some of these and be able to build a barricade on your own. It's kind of neat. 2 copies of the hand cannon. 0 to 1 range, 3 dice, 3 accuracy, 1 damage. 1 free action to reload, free in the end phase. It does make some noise though. 2 copies of the SBF, or Survivor's Best Friend. If equipped, gain the Tough skill. Tough skill lets you ignore the first hit you would take each turn. So it kind of acts as a little armor. 0 range, 1 die, 4 accuracy, 1 damage. The submachine gun for Tiffany, which you get 2 copies of, also has dual wield up at the top there. 0 to 1 range, 3 dice, 5 accuracy, but 1 damage. 2 copies of the Winchester. 1 to 2 range, 2 dice, 4 accuracy, 1 damage. And then finally we have 4 copies of the Zombie Knuckles, which are also dual wielding. If equipped, gain plus 1 die when equipped with another melee weapon. 0 range, 1 die, 4 accuracy, 1 damage. So it's kind of neat. If you have both Knuckles together, then they each gain an extra die for the other card, which is pretty cool. Then the last few cards we have in here are our Ultra Reg weapons. So if you're not familiar with Ultra Reg, it's just once you hit all the way to the reg on your character board, you get 43. If you earn any more experience, you start back over at the beginning. And then it lets you, as you get back through, so blue and yellow will be ignored. But then when you hit orange, you can select the other orange skill. And if you hit back into reg, you can select another reg. And you could potentially do that a 3rd time and go all the way back around. The game is going long enough and you get through it 3 times. Good luck. So that's actually, yeah, so you need extra modes if you want to play longer. You don't just get to reg, now you just sit there and nothing else happens. As more and more zombies keep coming, it at least gives you something else to look forward to. Maybe get a new skill which might help you. So what we do have are some special Ultra Reg weapons. These could kind of be akin to the 2.0 stuff, would be like the special weapons you can get, like the military weapons and stuff. They're just more powerful weapons. They just had different ways to use that. So we have the Flaming Nail Bat, 0 range, 4 dice, 3 range, or 3 accuracy, just 3 damage. The Nico Special, Ultra Reg Weapon, Sniper Rifle. Treat all zombies as standard. So neat. So you can just ignore any other special traits they would have. 1 to 3 range, 3 dice, 2 accuracy, 2 damage. 3 dice with 2 accuracy, you're going to hit with that a lot. The Holy Pan, made in France. If equipped, gain plus 3 dice with the other equipped melee weapon. 0 range, 3 dice, 4 accuracy, 2 damage. The Reaper. Roll a 5 or 6 to gain plus 1 die. 0 range, 5 dice, 5 accuracy, 2 damage. Not very good accuracy, but if you get a 5 or a 6, you're going to get an extra die. And you're rolling 5 dice, so chances are you're probably going to get 1 or 2 extra dice out of this. The Zombicide. Roll as many dice as actors in the targeted zone. So yeah, this is an ability that came in some of the later ones. So we do have, since there's 5 zombies in there, you gotta roll 5 dice. But it says actors, even if there's some survivors in there. So if you're using these guys that have like sniper or abilities like that to let them ignore, or steady hand so they can ignore not shooting the survivors, this could be very helpful. 0 to 1, special dice, 3 accuracy, 1 damage. The Zantetsuken is a katana. Skinnier zombies killed with this weapon cannot turn into crawlers. This is from Rumor. There's some special zombies there. 0 range, 4 dice, 3 accuracy, 2 damage. And our last card is the Uber Shield, which has, if equipped, 1, gain the Tough skill and the Shove skill. Shove lets you select the zone you're in, push all zombies from that zone into an adjacent zone for free, I believe. Is it free or do you have to pay in action? Let me double check quick, just so I say the right thing. I think shove is free. Yeah, free once during each of your activations. And 2, discard to prevent all wounds inflicted to the wearer. So basically, it gives you a protective. Tough and shove are very helpful, but if you're really desperate, you can just chuck it and get rid of it. Alright, that is what we have for this set. This is, of course, Angry Neighbors. A fun extra expansion. Again, if you're just playing Classic, definitely probably want to pick this up. Even if you have all the newer stuff, it has some great extra new stuff with the companions are fun because you can add them into any game. Their cards aren't mixed into anything. The barricade rule, the holes in the tiles are fun to add some differences there. New zombies, again, if you have the reboot set, you can add them in there. Plus, if you have the reboot box or card packs, you can add all these guys in there using their updated cards as well. It's definitely fun there. The only thing that might be iffy are the weapons, but you can always just keep a stack to the side. You can choose what pile to draw through, or mix and match all the backs. If you have 20 cards from one set, 20 from another set, who cares if the backs are different? You'll know you get a card from a different set, but you won't know which one you're going to get. Alright, that's what we have for this. Hit me up in the comments. See you guys later. Bye.